Hi, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Helena Roman, and welcome to my podcast. I've take that out. Last episode, we had the guest Lee and Sherry for the podcast video in episode 1. This is episode 2, which is actually a part of a 3 or 4-part series on the subject of are twin flames real? And Lee and Sherry are going to be with us in just a few minutes to go ahead and give us their story, share their experiences as twin flames in union together. Now is where I'd probably play podcast music. Perhaps. I'm sure they'll be here in a minute, any minute. But while we wait for Lee and Sherry, in case you haven't been familiar with my journey, my twin flame and I have been together for many years. And you might know me from Quora or Facebook or Instagram. You can follow me on Quora under my name, or Facebook under my name, or Instagram under ballerina_mouse, or on Twitter, which is FrillySocks11. You can also find me by searching my name. And at some point, Lee and Sherry will be here, I'm sure. I've got my coffee and my Zoom camera. It took me forever to figure out how to make Zoom actually work, let alone record. So thank goodness I figured that out. It took a few days. I'm still working on getting episode 1 up because I just learned how to make a YouTube thumbnail. Imagine that. That's how far behind I am so far as being in the know about technology. I'm not techie at all. I don't think I was meant to be techie. So any minute they'll be here. I think it's 3:32. I think they're here. Hi, guys. It says Lee and Sherry can't hear me yet. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? I can't see you. Hello.
Invisible Halloween costumes on.
How's that?
There you are. Hey.
Buttons. Let me see if I can squeeze this in a little bit. There. Then we can turn that. There we go.
Hey.
Clear out the picture, wasn't he?
Hey, look at that. 3:33. Who says we're not on time?
That's actually a good universal. I heard somewhere that twin flames see number 333 all the time. Have you guys heard that?
We see number sequences all the time, not necessarily like one set of numbers.
We see 1, 2, 3, 4.
We see 1, 2, 3, 4 a lot.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
We do see some number sequences, but not one consistently.
It depends on what we're going through.
Yeah, kind of does.
Yeah.
So thanks guys so much for coming back. And as you know, I was just explaining to the listeners as we were waiting for you guys to join. Thank you so much for being here. I am still working on how to figure out how to make a YouTube thumbnail. I'm still, I've gone basically my entire life not being techie. I spent 3 years in elocution lessons or whatever, trying to make my voice have zero accent whatsoever. But when it comes to things that are really important, like computer technology, I need, a millennial to come over and work on it.
You need 15, 16-year-old kids.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So when we left off last time, we were talking about what you guys had gone through so far as Sherry's illness, everything that kind of hit her. Lee was not expecting, nor was Sherry, the experience of hearing, hey, there's a liver available. For people that are just tuning in and they haven't heard the backstory, Sherry had gone through a major health situation, and Lee had created a great analogy to basically describe how he realized that he and Sherry were one, the ocean. Lee, do you want to share that ocean analogy a little bit with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
listeners?
See, it's like kept dreaming of water is what really kept happening to me, and the
Mhm.
water was kind of talking to me. And the thing about water in this connection is it's vulnerable.
Yeah, I think she's talking about the two seas coming together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Atlantic and the Pacific. Yes,
Yeah.
the way that they come together, they create billions of forms of life.
Mhm.
So if our bodies of water can connect to one another, that's where they'd be right in the neck.
Right. I'm gonna say, why is that back there?
Because I had to move the
What's
trainer earlier.
What is that? Is that your air purifier?
I was like, shh, right in the back of my neck. I was like, oh, that's
I have one of those.
I smell good now, don't
Yep.
you? Yeah. All right. So the way, basically what I kept doing is when I would lay with her at night, I was like, I was either a body of water by myself or there were the two oceans together.
Right.
And when the two oceans come together, they can exchange ingredients, right?
Mhm.
So it was like I would just go into this deep meditative state and I would let my immune system go into her. And she just kind of stayed connected to me through that. But I could hear her inside.
Mhm.
It was almost like she needed to be in my body because her body was so sick.
Right.
I just realized the depth of this connection is nothing anybody's talking about because there's all the other stuff.
Right.
And what I mean by all the other stuff, let me give you an example. Are you made up of masculine and feminine energy?
I like to think so, but I think I'm predominantly feminine energy. Although people meet my twin flame and they're like, he's the balance of you. We
So
kind of bounce off each other.
let me make sure that I get to the depth of where I need to go here. Did your mother and father conceive you?
Yes.
Okay, so that's masculine and feminine.
Mhm.
You came from both energies, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now watch this. If you're in, let's say, you grow up and let's say your father is not really the best, right?
Okay.
Let's just say
I'll pretend he was terrible.
let's just say he was wounded,
Okay.
right? Okay. And you keep gravitating more and more to the divine feminine.
Hmm.
Well, the problem with that is you're going to attract a wounded masculine.
Right.
Because we separated them, right?
Hmm.
And Sherry and I in this connection, she's masculine, feminine, I'm feminine, masculine.
Okay.
And okay, so this, not that it makes a difference, you just have to be both to be whole.
Right.
Right? Because people believe this connection is about finding your other half, not your other whole.
Oh, that's a great way to explain that. The other.
Keep doing is saying, I'm waiting for my divine masculine. Well, no, you're in your divine feminine attracting wounded masculine because you never healed your masculine. You never healed your father. You never healed yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're going to keep attracting the same thing because that's what divine does.
Mm-hmm.
So the divine said to me, hey, I want to bring you two deep into connection because she can still be here. So I never thought she was going to go anywhere. Even when the hospice was in and they were telling me, you're going to have to prepare to let her, I was like, no. I could see where you're going. And she was saying to me, well, they meaning well because one day, you could wake up and I could be gone. I said, no, because I can hear you in here saying, no, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. That's all I could hear.
I remember one specific time, for some reason, it just stays prevalent in my mind. But there was one specific night that I was feeling extremely sick. I was nauseous and my whole body was hurting, and there was really nothing that I could do or take that was helping. And I remember Lee just scooting really close to me on the couch, And then for some reason he scooted back, and I was able to just kind of lay into him like this, and he just held me, and every bit of pain was gone. Like if I laid there with him on him, I wasn't in pain at all. And I remember laying there pain-free and feeling such peace that, number one, it scared me. I thought, okay, maybe this is where I'm going to go in peace and with him, right? But then I fell into a sleep, and I hadn't been able to sleep. And I fell into a sleep, and I think I slept like 12 hours or something, to the point where his brother was like, we checked on Sherry, like she's been asleep for a long time. Yeah. And it was just that the peace that his energy just brought me, just touching him and being with him. It was so healing, right? It was so important that he stayed close to me.
I would say the biggest thing for that, if you go back and watch the videos that I was doing to them, I was doing soul chats and soul chats, and I was really pulling pain from every person that we were going through in root camp, everything that we were doing in the soul chats. And we were all just sitting in this pain so we could absorb her pain. See, you can't, it's like what we believe about this connection is you got to get rid of your pain to have the connection, not you got to have the pain to connect to their pain to have a bigger connection. That's the truth.
Oh man, he got all those healers together.
Yeah.
Oh,
we had all kinds of twin flames from all over the world.
All these healers.
Healing.
I think we have.
I remember that.
We have the actual.
Oh my gosh!
Because we recorded it, because they all came in, and it was just all of their energy, but all of the pain.
Beautiful.
So I had to stay in pain, so that way she could come to me and she'd get relief.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I learned initially too, is that twin flames, and this is just from talking to my own experience and talking to other people, they're saying, for whatever reason, when I'm with my twin flame, I'm not in pain. You know, it's almost like they absorb each other's pain of wherever it stems from. And then that pain is transmuted, because energy doesn't disappear. It just changes form. So pain can be a form of energy. That's my theory on it. And so the twin flames come together, absorb each other's energy, heal each other's energy, and it changes form from pain into healing, at least in Sherry's case, because you're better. So
let me give you a different way to look at it. We're born through pain. We're connected to feminine energy when we're born. If you stay in that pain, yes, it seems like it went away, but what you start to find is the opposite of what was in that pain was the love that you're carrying. So, you know, when I'm saying I had to be vulnerable and I had to be in pain, I'm saying I had to stay in birth mode. Okay? So the pain is important. You cannot have this connection without your pain. Even if people are saying their pain dissipates, don't worry, you'll find more. I can tell you. We've had pain, we've had hurt.
I kind of want to give everybody another example, even before I got sick, even earlier in our connection. And 2010, Lee had major back surgery. And so I obviously was staying at the hospital because I didn't want to leave him. And the first night after he came out of surgery, the first night we got him all settled and you know, got him comfortable. He was still out of it, sort of, and he was coming to just gradually. And so they got him up after he woke up, and they made him walk the halls and come back in, and it was time for, you know, it's time for bed. We turned the TV on for a little bit, and then I noticed that he fell asleep, and he was in the hospital bed, and I was across the room, or actually to his right, and there was a window, and there was like one of those little plastic couches that they have, right, that people can sleep on.
Oh yeah, I've slept on one. Yeah.
Yeah,
they kind of pull out, but they don't really.
They don't really.
Yeah, it's like a reclining.
Yeah, it's a hot mess. So manufactured some pillows and made me sort of a bed there. And I just started to lay down and get comfortable, and an alarm went off, something that was connected to him. So I got up, I jumped up, and the nurse, it was a man, he came in and he was like, what's happening? And I was like, I don't know, his alarm just went off, right? And he was like, well, I mean, he's okay.
Like my heart rate was
Like,
dropping.
yeah, his heart rate was dropping.
Yeah.
Or he
that's
wasn't breathing.
I
scary
wasn't
sign.
breathing.
Yeah, he
I
wasn't breathing.
Yeah.
He wasn't breathing. So it's like he wasn't breathing. Like I was like, okay. Okay, everything settled down, and I went back and laid down. And as soon as I laid down, it happened again. This happened like 5 times. When I went to go lay on the couch, his alarm went off. I would come close to him, it would stop. The nurse would come in, and I was like, look, we got to stop this. We're tired, right? So he brings in one of those recliners, the same kind of deal, but he also brought in like a big box full of pillows, and we manufactured me a bed, sort of. So I was even with him, and I could hold his hand, and the rest of the night, no alarms.
So
The pulse oximeter kept going off, almost like he
the
was
nurse
dying.
was going crazy.
Nurse was
because
losing his mind.
how come when you're
Probably.
next to him, he's not having this problem? Here's my side of the story.
Okay.
I came out of that surgery. The only reason I did the surgery is because she was going to be next to me. So what I kept imagining was every time she'd walk over there, I would jump out of my body and go over there and be next to her.
So then that
So
was
as soon as she stayed next to me,
The nurse was like, as soon as you get up, it's fine. You can't get up. I mean, you have to stay up.
and yeah,
I was like, look, buddy, I'm not going to stay up. I'm not going to stay up and stand by this bed. I'm tired. I'm tired too. I was up all, waiting on him to get out of surgery. I'm tired. So he was like, well, we're going to have to fix this, because I've been running in this room 5 or 6 times for the past hour. And so he brought in the bed, or the recliner, and the rest of the 3 nights I had to sleep on that thing, because I couldn't go too far from him, because that alarm was loud and obnoxious.
this connection has so much to teach, and we look out and we go, everybody needs to have this.
Everybody does have this.
They do.
It's the interesting thing is, we close ourselves off so much. We close ourselves up to connection, and then we find somebody we feel like we're connected to, and that's the tell-all be-all. That's the one, nobody can tell us different. That's the one, not really noticing that we're really blocking, could be the real one.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the real one.
Now,
right?
what would you call those kind of situations? I think you're referring to, Sherry, like
They're called karmics or
karmic,
soulmate,
soul catalyst.
Everybody calls them that.
those types of things.
I call them connection points.
Yeah, they're definitely
That's
connected.
good.
They're
That's
not a part of your disconnect.
Right.
They're a part of what's going to make you be connected.
For sure.
And when you go, like, if you look at our story, because we told it, we went on there, we told it, right?
Oh, we're getting
We
ready to
went
tell
on-
it again.
We had to go away from each other. We had to be with other people. We had to go through those experiences after we realized we could have connection. Because if you look at it, can you have this connection if you've never been connected to yourself?
No.
So once you realize you haven't been connected to yourself, all your choices change. Would you attract the same people? Would you attract the same circumstances? How would you handle certain things? But then you look at, for example, the way we label things, label people, narcissist, karmic, false, all of these things are barriers to what the experience is supposed to give you. Most of the time, you're going to keep repeating the same cycles. And believe us, we know what repeating cycles is like.
Yeah. Now, one of the questions that I received that they would like this answered by you guys today. The person asks that they think they've met their twin flame, right? They think they've met their twin flame, but the person they're not sure that this is their twin flame because the relationship is so toxic. It's very toxic. And what she was saying was that she's had a few bad relationships in her life and a few good relationships. Not everybody's, the extreme, all one way or all the other way. But she met this guy. They've known each other a few years. They are in a back and forth repeating pattern. And she wants to believe that this is her twin flame, but he is incredibly abusive. He verbal abuse, mental abuse, he gaslights, all the symptoms of narcissism, and it's unhealthy for her. And so my question to you guys is, what is your advice for her? Should
Well-
she, I mean, she's been to all sorts of people asking, is this my twin flame? Nobody's gonna make that determination for her. She has to listen to her heart.
There are people out there who will try to validate that for her. Unfortunately, we both feel that no one can tell you who is and who isn't. And first of all, it was translation, so we didn't get her exact words, but
yeah, sorry about that.
I completely
I had her email on an iPad, and then I left the iPad in the kitchen.
Because what I was hearing is she thinks she found her twin flame.
I heard that too.
And she's confused. Well, from watching Lee and I's journey, Lee was very toxic as well. And so was I. I'm not going to say that I wasn't. We were both very toxic. However, there was no abuse. And yeah, nobody should be in an abusive relationship at all, period. Twin or no twin, right?
I was thinking maybe she should seek help.
Yeah.
Or even somebody from her clergy just to talk to.
Actually come and sit with us for 30 minutes.
Yeah, tell her to,
Yeah.
anybody.
Yes.
We do free 30-minute sessions. So anybody can do that. But I honestly feel like, first of all, connected or not, always get out of an abusive situation, connected or not, right? Never be with a twin flame, whatever. Those words, I wish we could just and make them go away. The whole twin flame label.
Soul connection.
Let's just
stick with soul
connection.
Yeah.
And the fact that she, thinks that may be her twin. However, leaving that abusive and toxic relationship may very well open up the door for her true twin flame to come in, right? We don't know, but the twin flame is a soul connection, is a feeling, not a thought, right? Honestly, when I met Lee, the box I kept in my soul, the box I kept in my spirit with the lid on it that I would never let anybody into because it had my big love in it, opened up. And there was absolutely no question that he was my big love. Did I want him to be my big love? No. Did I need him to be no. I didn't want any part of that, right? I didn't want to live my life looking over my shoulder. He had two teeth pulled this morning.
Right. So I'm like,
and
oh my, you did?
Yeah.
Are you feeling okay?
The pain away though. She took the pain away, but I can feel it here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like last night with your feet.
Yeah.
Out today with my face. Like, you know what?
I did way too much yesterday, and I'm a go-getter. I just go, and I'm trying to get my house together. And my feet were just killing me last night. I got in a hot bath and I got out, and I mean, I'm pretty lucky to have this guy, and he was just like all over my feet.
Took all of the pain.
And it was beautiful.
I felt
you guys are an inspiration.
Beautiful.
I want to address this question because she said something that really stood out, and not most people would catch what actually stands out.
Right.
What we hear versus what somebody else might hear. It's a two-part, right? I can hear it in one ear, everything you said, and then I hear it in another ear, everything she heard you say. And it was weird because as I was sitting there, when she said thank you, I was like, yep. And then she said the other thing. She said, I've had several bad relationships. So how did you heal the first one? Yeah. Because if you didn't heal the first one, it followed you to the second one, followed you to the third one. Now it's followed you into this. And see, your idea of relationship is that all relationships are bad. Does she want a relationship or does she want a connection?
And we carry that energy. Yeah. We carry that energy. Oh, all my relationships are bad, so you're going to be a shithead too. So you know what I mean? It just that energy we carry over. I'm guilty of it too. you know, we obviously can't tell anybody who is or who's
No.
is they're not their twin flame, but
We can pull it out of them.
we can pull it out of
Pull
them
it out of 'em.
and show them a picture that they've never seen. That'd be like, oh,
They've
got
seen it. They just didn't see it from
They
the
just didn't-
angle.
right.
Because when you look at your connection to yourself, for example, right, Elena, watch. How did you receive love from your dad?
He was my dad.
Yeah, but did you feel how all of that went through your body and you couldn't sit still for it? That's called a resistant reaction. And if that happens in connection, it's because of something that happened to you before. So you have things buried inside that are pushing away instead of pulling in close because those things didn't heal yet, right? So what we, of course, have been tasked to do, I mean, first of all, we got to make sure we clear up this whole thing about what this actual word means.
Oh, we
It's
can.
it's
Oh, can we-
everything, the
yeah.
everything love. It's just not the ultimate, it's the
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
And it's not limited to the sexual,
Yeah.
romantic, and
Yeah.
it goes even further in every direction. And we've made it small. We've thrown religion at it. We've done all of these crazy things to it. But the connection didn't need any of that. So we're stalling, right? You can have connection, but you gotta look at what disconnected you first.
Mhm.
And that's what this connection is going to do to you the worst. So I would tell her, if she believes this is the one, how is she allowing him to connect to all of her feelings and sharing her thoughts? And
Okay.
if she says she doesn't do that, she's already got her answer as to why she's the runner and he's a narcissist.
Hmm.
Because what we start doing is wanting to play the name game when we don't want to tell the truth.
Okay.
So if you can't share everything you feel and you can't share everything you think
Without fear.
without fear, or sharing your fear,
Yeah.
because we're in that space, right?
Mhm.
We're telling you, it feels so good to be able to tell somebody the whole truth,
Mhm.
and we're talking truth, no
Mhm.
judgment, truth. There's a difference. When you throw judgment at the truth, it's no longer the truth,
Right.
right? So,
Now-
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask you, I had another person reach out also, who I said that I was doing the podcast, and she's a pretty good friend. She said that she had a question for you guys also. She wants to know, she says that she is with her twin flame, like they're in a relationship, a union.
Mhm.
But she said that her main question is that she went to maybe gurus, I don't know, asked people what type of connection is this? And nobody said anything about twin flame to her. And I said, maybe they didn't know. Maybe they, who knows? Who knows why they didn't say twin flame? Do you need someone else? So my question is to tell her, Melissa, that's her name. She wanted me to ask this.
Hi,
this
Melissa.
Hi, Melissa.
Yeah, I'm sure she's going to be watching. She says, do I need basically someone else's validation? And I think you covered this a bit before. Or can she just listen to her own heart and know that the person she's with is her twin flame?
Melissa, you've answered your own question.
Yes, she did.
Actually, no, there's nobody that should be telling you who is and who is your twin flame.
Mm.
That's a red flag right there.
Right.
If somebody's trying to tell you that that person is your twin flame, run. This is something that only you know. This is a feeling. This is a feeling of abundance, love abundance,
Mhm.
right? It's a feeling of respect, abundance, of connection, abundance, right? Two people coming together, and it didn't matter the sex, two women, two men, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's two people coming together in this connection that is undeniable, unforgettable, unbreakable, right? We think that we have to be with this person. We definitely do not have to be with this person, right?
So all twin flame relationships don't necessarily end up in a romantic relationship.
No, there's reasons because, well, if there's an abusive situation, right? Now, does that mean that they're not twin flames or they're not connected because he's abusive to her? I'm talking about the other person. It doesn't mean that at all.
Okay.
He clearly has some anger work to do. He clearly has some work to do on himself to find out why he acts and reacts the way he does, right? He has work to do, right?
That
And
was a big.
she probably should allow him to do that on his own and get out of that situation for sure. And let him get his self-work done. But as far as Melissa goes, Melissa, this is something that you know or you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not a question. It's not a question. It's a feeling. Right? Well, a lot of times we see, oh my gosh, you guys, I found my twin flame. And then 2 months later, yeah, he couldn't have been.
Yeah, he wasn't the one.
And then, a year later, another one, or 6 months later, another one, and then another one. I didn't know the term twin flame or connected or any of those things when I was, before I even met Lee. I mean, I was a very spiritual person, but I knew that there were connections out there, but soulmates, obviously. But if I would have, there would have probably been 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 4 twin flames. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I went through a bunch of relationships too, like everybody. And I dated a lot of really nice guys on my way to my twin flame. But my twin flame, he's never been abusive. Like he's not he's like if Lee met him, he would say he's in his divine feminine because he's so soft-spoken, sweet, nurturing, just he's amazing. He's amazing. So I'm listening to other people's stories about how they're, they've met this twin flame, they're in love, everything's great. They're in separation right now, and they're getting reeled back into these cycles. And the twin flame is hitting them.
I would actually only ask Melissa one question. Can you tell me about the day you knew who your mother and father were? Because what she's looking for in other people is verification of something. So that leads me to believe it's more of a wound. She's not able to trust what she feels. And we've seen this a ton, okay? We've seen why this reason alone could keep twin flames from coming together. Because what ends up happening is, you find a woman that you're connected to, and immediately when you walk in the room, that's a woman you're deeply connected to, right? So if you look back in your history, you look back and I knew who my mom was. I knew. And then when I saw my dad, there was an energy that hit me. I felt it. And all of this happens because you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable. You're not holding back. You're not in your head. You're vulnerable. So you can feel the energy, which is exactly what this connection keeps trying to bring back. So
now this takes me to, we just got the 10-minute notice. So I wanted to kind of interject. Sorry. Lee and Sherry teach a class on vulnerability. Do you guys want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah. We actually are doing the second class tonight.
Tonight is our second class.
And it's really beautiful because we got.
And you guys still got time to get in if anybody was interested.
If anybody's interested, you only missed one.
Yeah.
And the first one was, what is vulnerability?
Well, probably 2. I don't know when this will air.
Right. True. Well, we're going to be doing a second one.
Yeah.
We're doing that, but we're also doing something even more beautiful.
Before we get into that, I do want to tell them about the vulnerability class real quick because it's super cool. Because what we're doing is I'm working like tonight, for instance, I'll be downstairs. He'll be up here. I'll be talking to the feminine energies, the females, or who identify as female. He'll be talking to the males, right? Or those who identify as males. He'll be talking to them. We're having the same subject we're talking about. I'm talking to the women, he's talking to the men. And then next week, the same. And then the week after that, we all come together for one big class. And then the week after that, I'm with the guys, he's with the gals. And then the last session, we all come back together again. So tonight we are, the topic is something that we've been I forget, something that we
I was sitting
a vulnerable experience or
Yes,
something.
tonight they all
Something
have to
like-
share a vulnerable experience they had throughout the week with a stranger or somebody they know, but not family.
Oh, that's interesting. So if somebody is just now listening and this is obviously gonna air in the future,
Yes.
Yeah.
so they may be missing this particular course lineup. When does your next vulnerability course start? And will there be like a recording of the course so that if somebody wanted, let's say somebody's listening to this a year from now and they go,
Right.
man, I wish I could, are they still doing this? If not, how can I get a copy of that? Because even, the recording of the course might really be helpful. How
Yeah.
can they get that?
Just they email us. They can go to our website is relationshipreinvented.com, or they can email us at relationshipreinvent@gmail.com.
So yeah, people probably get that confused sometimes, the relationship reinvent or reinvented. So it's reinvented.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know that
So-
Lee's excited. I
So,
feel his energy.
yeah, because we're getting ready to do this really beautiful thing. We're going to, starting this month, every third Saturday and fourth Sunday, Sherry and I are going to be doing
The watch party.
our journey watch party. So it's a tell-all. So we're going to pause and really tell you some other things that really weren't in our journey, so you can help connect some bigger dots.
We're going to start from episode 1, watch it with everybody in the class, rewind, stop, answer questions, feel our emotions again. We're going to cry. We're going to laugh. I'm probably going to flick him in the head a couple times. Why'd you do that for? I can't believe you did that.
Okay, I see what you did there.
It's going to be one of those things that we've never seen our videos, never watched a video. We recorded them.
Never watched your own videos?
No.
You
Never.
guys look great.
Never. And there's a reason I started to self-judge
Right.
episode 1. I was like, oh no, turn it off. Turn it off
Our
because
minds,
yeah.
we've programmed our minds to do other stuff, but if we're doing that,
Yeah.
yeah. So we ended up doing something completely different with this, and we thought, okay, let's do it one a month for the next 30 months. So we're going to go through that, and meanwhile, we're going to be updating our journey. So we're going to talk about the stuff that she went through and really kind of walk people through
everything from the beginning, that the day we met, what we saw spiritually, these blue orbs, right? It was so spiritual and humanly exciting, right? We actually went back to that space last week for our anniversary, our wedding anniversary. We went back.
Happy anniversary.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you. It's been an 18-year journey.
18-year journey. This was 9, right?
And a 9-year, yeah, we've been married 9 years, but it's been an 18-year journey of just fun and bliss.
Since we got married,
No.
we've married how many sets of twins at this
3 or
point?
4 at least.
4.
Four?
No, 5.
Yeah.
Do you guys
Fine.
perform marriages?
We perform marriages.
Yeah, we've
Oh,
married.
that's
we married
wonderful.
Danny and Brooke on YouTube.
Yeah, we did.
We married them. We married some other people.
Yeah, we've married. Yeah, we've
It's
traveled
been-
and married people.
Yeah.
We've had a blast.
Wonderful. So you guys, just so that the listeners know, let's say that you work with Lee and Sherry with their workshops, and you end up in a physical relationship with your twin flame, or perhaps a soulmate, but hopefully your twin flame, and you end up deciding to get married. Lee and Sherry can perform your wedding for you.
That's right. That'll be fun.
That is really great.
It's been a blast every time we've done it.
It really has been absolutely amazing.
I think it's cool because it's the first time you meet in person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's for us, it's a very connecting experience. But let me tell you how I knew there was something special with her, because I've never shared that before.
I'm
So
watching the time too, because
Yeah.
Okay. So
Lee can talk for days.
I know. You guys
we
are
were-
wonderful.
we were actually, I came back in 2007. We met out at like Dave and Buster's, right? And we were just sitting there. And these kids all wanted to play by our energy. The adults were standing around, but they weren't really capturing that the kids had kind of sat around us. And they weren't interacting with us as much as they were just interacting with our energy. And I'm like, This is different.
Oh man, we would look at the clock and it would feel like hours have passed, and it was like 15 minutes.
It's the first time I think
was
we ever
crazy.
experienced true presence.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the beautiful gift is, and now we get to go there anytime we want.
And our journey on YouTube, on our playlist, it says our journey. It just starts from day one.
Yeah.
And from the beginning of when we met, how we met, a whole deal, and all the hot mess we went through to get to the space we're in now. And normally those people who do watch our journey will email us and say, oh my God, I'm going through the exact same thing. This is insane. Yeah. Why did this happen to us?
So we when we first started this, we knew that we needed to make sure that this got out there. We didn't know that we were going to create a way to have this connection and help others have this connection. We just thought we were going to be doing normal jobs. So this kind of, for us, like, this is 11 years of this kind of creative energy. And I'm going, when people will look back on this and go, okay, they were talking about the connection we're all in now, right? That's what we knew we needed to do.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep doing this. And if you go to our YouTube and you sign up to our channel,
all you have to do is type in Lee and
Sherry
Sherry in YouTube. It's a done deal.
If you subscribe, like, and turn on the notifications, we're going to be coming out more and more stuff because
we got how many videos on there?
495.
That is a lot.
So we're almost at 500. I think we should do something fun.
Yeah.
For the 500th episode. Now I don't know if anybody will ever deep dive into that.
Oh, we're going to do a Halloween episode. We did 2 or 3 of them in the past.
And everybody loves them.
Those are fun.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
so fun. We dress up.
You can really feel our connection to it. It's
so fun.
It's really a thing.
Yep. We'll let you do your last minute thing. I know you got a minute left.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been Helena Roman with Lee and Sherry as guests. And remember to go to their website, relationshipreinvented.com, or email them at relationshipreinvent@gmail.com.
Yep.
So we will see you this time next week for episode 3. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope. Will you come?
Yeah.
Let's
Let's do it.
Thank you. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.